All right, my name is Alex, and this is my brother Ethan, and our podcast is going to be about coronavirus. So, first topic, what do you think about going back to school?
So I like going back to school all 100%. It's a lot better for most kids that feel very distracted, and it's a lot easier, and it gets us back on our grades a lot better. So in my opinion, I think it's a lot better than all virtual.
How did you do at home?
Um, well, I'm gonna be honest. I've been struggling a lot, and I've been a straight A kid and doing well, and I dropped to C's in like the classes that I did well in.
Oh, that's the same for me. I have a D now, but I am getting my grades back up. But hopefully, I can get better grades whenever we go into high school. So, yeah. Our second topic is how do you think it's going to look like in school?
Personally, it's gonna look like normal hybrid, where it's gonna be no talking, walk straight to class, and not really a passing period, and we're not gonna have our lockers, but at least we'll get to see everyone, and since everyone's gonna be there, there'll be less social distancing, but I think that's completely fine since we have our masks on.
Do you think they're gonna change how we walk to our classes or any of that to prevent interaction between people?
Yeah, I think they're gonna adapt to the new change in school, and they're gonna probably enforce some rule as one class dismisses earlier than the next class, and then it keeps going like that.
Yeah, I think it'll be like that too. What now? Our third topic is what do you think about masks?
Um, Personally, I do not care for them. It just seems like they're kind of useless, but it's what we have to do, and if we have to do that, that's just what we're gonna have to roll with until this stops happening and everything goes back to normal, which hopefully will happen sometime this year.
Do you think masks do anything?
No, I don't think so. It's just why I think it's pointless because, I mean, for the sick people, yes, I do see why they would do that to prevent particles going through the mask, but if you're healthy and fine and you don't have anything wrong with you, I don't see the point.
Well, apparently the flu is down 98%, and we're about to be in flu season, so that isn't really making sense. So they're saying it's all coronavirus and there's no flu?
It seems interesting to me that they're blaming everything on corona when it's the flu season right now, when they can say something's COVID, but actually it's flu. So I have to figure out how they're going to make sure it's not COVID.
Yeah. Topic 4. What do you think, or when do you think we should stop wearing masks and social distancing?
Since the COVID vaccine has just been released.
Well, it hasn't been released yet. Only a certain few people have been able to.
Well, yeah, true, but
it should be open to the public in May apparently.
Yeah. Since it's been released to the public in May is when it's going to be released, but we know that there is a vaccine. We're waiting to see if it's effective and it's successful.
Well, doesn't a vaccine give you a small amount of the virus?
I'm not sure.
Because I thought that's how vaccines work, so your body becomes immune to it. But I think we've been around coronavirus enough to the point where most of us are immune to it, and that's why the deaths are going down. Mm-hmm. So,
yeah, and to touch base with that, I don't really think that all COVID deaths aren't really related to COVID. And they can have COVID, but then they'll die of a heart condition or something. It's like a partnering
Well, what if it was caused by corona?
Well, if it was caused by corona, that would be a different thing. But since most people that are in severe risk have like heart issues, lung issues, diabetes, stuff like that, that's probably the why COVID comes in, and it just feeds on those disabilities, and that is what causes them to die.
And to add on to this, we're going to talk about when we think we should be able to go back in public without restricting anything.
Since they're talking about releasing the vaccine in May, I believe that everything should be getting back to normal around June, July, because then a big variety of people have already taken that, and they have mutated it and built an immune system to it, and I believe everything should be going back to normal around that time.
I don't think they're going to go back to it. I think they're going to hold on to this as long as they can for whatever reason, because it feels so much more dragged on than it should have been. And we're almost a full year into this whole social distancing, and it could have been done a long time ago. I feel like
yeah. Let me add on to that. So, COVID was found China November 2019, around that area. We've already been a year in, but we didn't start having problems with everyone freaking out until like March-ish. That's when school shut down. There was a whole country shut down. Trump declared it a pandemic. So I believe that, yes, this has been dragged on, and I definitely believe that this has been exaggerated, I should say, than it should have not been. But it's what we've dealt with, and hopefully soon that will get to what I expect around June, July. But I bet you it's probably not going to be we're probably not going to go back to normal till like late this year.
Do you think the media had like anything to do with
it? Completely. They over exaggerate.
Do you think they spread any like false information?
Yes, I definitely do.
Well, because back last year, didn't the CDC spread like false information around? Mm-hmm. Do you know exactly what it was about?
Well, here's the thing about the CDC. First, their objective is to bring the peak down, make sure there's less COVID cases, and then they wanted to be no COVID cases, and then they said it was fine, and they also said that at first, masks aren't useful, we don't need them, we'll be fine. And then they brought on, we do need masks, they are so useful and all of this. It's a whole bunch of stupidness, to be honest with you.
Do you think there was anything to do with like politics getting in the way?
Yes. I definitely believe and think that they did this to blame it on Trump. And this is the first time that we've seen a national pandemic such as like this one that hasn't been extreme and exaggerated.
Well, there has been like viruses like SARS and stuff, but they never shut down the whole entire world because of it. Yeah. And look at how quick they got over it. And we're almost a year in, and I bet they're going to drag it on as long as they can.
Mm-hmm. And say it's all Trump's fault.
All right, well, that is our podcast about the coronavirus.